Hello viewers, decided to do a quick video about M57. I know I have 1,000 videos about this, but this is interesting because rarely this engine has a rattle in the chain on a cold start. That's why I decided to film this car to show you how this sounds on the cold start before we disassemble the engine and check how the timing chains are looking like. And also we're going to check also the bearings. So this car has probably over 350,000 kilometers without anything have been touched, so it's going to be really interesting how everything looks like inside. So this is the car, E61 with 3-liter diesel engine, and let's open up the hood and see how it's going to sound on the first start. Right now it's morning. And we're going to do the timing chains, we're going to check the bearings. On first glance, everything looks pretty clean. I think the owner is taking care of this car. So we're going to check it when we lift it up in the air, but let's see how it's going to sound. Okay, actually I didn't hear it right now. But I think he has an issue with some of the injectors, because it's running a little bit rough. So okay, now we're going to put the car in the shop, we're going to lift it and we're going to start disassembling. Okay, so the engine is disassembled, everything is removed. This is the timing chain and how it looks like on 350,000 kilometers. It has swag for sure, as we can see. So a little wife left in her for sure is going to snap in several thousand kilometers, so it's a good call that the owner wants to change it. Right now we're going to remove everything else. We are almost done with removing of the timing chain cover, but just wanted to show you before, because to remove it we're going to need to remove the chain, and after that I'm not going to be able to show you this swag. But when we remove everything I'm going to show you how it looks like. The engine inside looks kind of clean, it's not so bad, but the worst thing that we have found out is the bearings. The main bearings are looking worn out, especially this, the last one, which is on the flywheel side. Actually the big end bearings look pretty good. We have checked the spotter bearing, which is on the top of the conrod. It looks pretty good, in good shape, on 98% wife, but yeah, the main bearings doesn't look so good. The owner is going to end up deciding what he's going to change and what he's going to do. We have already bought a new bolts for the main bearings and the conrod bearings. We have removed the glow plugs, but unluckily for the owner, glow plug number 1, I cannot show it right now, cannot be undone, so we're going to change only 6. We are not going to risk it to break down one glow plug and after that figuring out how to remove it. 5 glow plugs should be enough, it's not big of a deal. So in the end of the day, the owner decided that he don't want to invest so much money in this car, he probably going to sell it. We're just going to change the bolts, the conrod bolts, this is the conrod bolts. This is the main bearing bolts. We're going to replace them when reassembling back everything. Once again, the conrod bolts are in pretty good shape, so no worries about this. Yeah, the main bearings don't look so good, but this is what the owner wants. So we're going to reassemble everything back together how it was before and hope for the best as much as possible. So yeah, this is what he wants to do. Okay, so everything is tightened up back together. All the main bearings and the conrod bearings, we have used once again new bolts. Everything is torqued to spec with newton meters and degrees, but now we have found something really interesting. Right now the camshafts on the top are locked up with the timing tool, and we have started to search where to lock up the crankshaft. This is the hole which the tool should came in to lock up the crankshaft, and as I told you, camshafts right now are locked where they're supposed to be, and you can see how far we are from the locking of the flywheel. Pretty obviously, if we look the conrod on cylinder number 1, we're going to see that it is not on top dead center. So probably the timing chain jumped a tooth or something like that. Just let me show you. You can see where the tool should lock up the flywheel, here, and it's supposed to be here. So for sure something is not right. So doesn't matter, we're going to retime it as it's supposed to be. Just wanted to show you that this, I haven't seen this before, but probably this timing chain is really stretched out and there is a possibility of jumping a tooth. Okay, so we have to remove the upper timing chain. This is it. This is how it looks like. Actually, it turns out that this car have seen a timing chain replacement, because as I can see, this is some Chinese parts installed in the engine. For sure, this is not the OEM parts. Previously, somebody have done it. As you can see here, we have some damage from the chain, and actually on the first Conrod bearing cap, we had similar damage. So for sure, previously this car had some issue with the timing chains, probably it snapped and they have redone it. This bolt, which is hidden here, as we can see, I haven't stripped it out, it is like that. So for sure, somebody have been here, but the chains are stretched for sure. Now we're going to remove the other two ones. Just to show you how much the tensioner is got out from the housing. This is how much it is right now. I'm going to show you when we install the original ones for comparison, but now we're going to remove everything else. And most of the time when you snap a timing chain, the camshafts are going to bend out, as you know, guys. And this camshaft, as you can see, has some marking. Most of the time when people try to straighten up these camshafts, they're marking themselves where is the bending. So for sure this car had some accident previously in its life. Now we're going to install the new timing chain components. Okay, so pretty much everything is removed. Tensioner, gears, the 3 gears, the 3 chains, and the 4 guides. Yeah, this is the oil nozzle, which we're going to replace also. So it's pretty interesting, but I don't know what is happening here, because as we know, on the guides pretty much you're going to have date when it's made. And on this guide, both guides is on the lower timing chain, on the crankshaft chain. It states that is from 2011, and this one it states that is from 2009. Which I believe this car was made 2009. So this means that this guide probably is going to be the original one, but this is made 2011, which is really strange. I doubt that they have opened up the engine 2 years after making the car and changed only this guide. I don't know a service bulletin for failing of this guide especially. And these ones on the upper timing chain, we don't have any date of production. I'm going to show you now the new ones and show you the comparison. Also the tensioner, it doesn't look OEM. So I don't know what have happened with this car. But once again, for sure, it has been go through of timing chain failure, no doubt about it. Let me show you the new parts that we're going to install. So let's see this one. It's going to be kind of hard to show it probably on camera, but if you take a closer look, you're going to see the marking of BMW here. And I believe there should be somewhere a date. This especially is 2022, so it's a 2 years old guide. And this came the same for all the guides. As you can see, yeah, some of them are coming like that, but once again, this is original timing chain guides. Let's see the logo on this one. As you can see here, BMW EVs. So yeah, the timing chains, here are the original timing chains, 3 of them, 1, 2, 3. So this is all the timing chains. The crankshaft seal, I'm using only original ones from now on, because I had some issues with the aftermarket ones. I don't want to risk it anymore. So just to show you the original timing chain tensioner, it's pretty obvious that the stamp, the number is, so you cannot make it wrong with this to be sure that it's OEM one. We have bought new high pressure fuel pump gear. Actually it's good one that we have bought new one, because the threads here were damaged. Probably because of the previous removal, they didn't have the right tool for it. So I'm going to need to redo my tool, because it damaged my threads. But I'm going to figure it out. This is the crankshaft gear. Because this car is X-Drive, we're going to replace the seals on the differential. This is the guide for the camshafts. So somewhere, yeah, here is the bolt for it. I have bought OEM gaskets for the timing chain cover and for the open, of course. This is the bolt for the crankshaft. Yeah, Cortec will work out. Never had an issue with this, that's why I didn't bought OEM ones. Gasket for the intake manifold, for the valve cover, 3D obviously. This is the EGR O-ring. So yeah, several other things. This is the nuts for the CV axles. I replace them every time. And interestingly enough, the aftermarket ones have started to get trickier because they are stamping where is produced. Previously on the aftermarket guides, you are not going to be able to see any stamp when this guide, or doesn't matter which part of the timing components, is made. Some people are saying that when you see a stamp of a date of the production of this component, it should be OEM, but it is not, as we can see. But interestingly enough, even with so much out of time, you saw how further was the hole of the crankshaft pin from where it's supposed to be. Still, while I was rotating the engine, the piston was not hitting the valve, which is really strange. I don't know what happened. Hopefully the owner don't have any damage inside the engine or something like that. I don't know, but the engine is rotating, so I don't know. Okay guys, I'm going to assemble everything back together, all the new components, and I'm going to show you how everything looks like. So pretty much before installing the timing chain cover, everything is assembled. The both timing chain guides on the bottom. It's kind of hard to film it because it's tight, but the high pressure fuel pump gear, the crankshaft gear is changed, the oil nozzle, as we can see, is new, the tensioner is installed, and this is the other chain. Yeah, also the oil pump chain is brand new. So now we're going to need to install the timing chain cover, and after that reassemble everything back together. Of course, we're going to time it as supposed to be, not how it was like. Brand new OEM gasket for the timing chain cover. And yeah, we need to tighten up this nut to 70 Nm. The tensioner bolts are 10 Nm. And pretty much this is it. Hero, I think, was 14 Nm. I need to check, but I'm pretty sure that was 14 Nm for the camshaft gear. So the timing chain cover is assembled. Everything is torque spec. 22 Nm on the top bolts, 15 Nm on the side bolts. New chain. The 3 bolts are tightened up, as these 2 pins for the guides, once again with thread locker, so to be sure that it's not going to leak from here. But if it starts to leak, you can just undo them, not fully remove them, just put some thread locker and restore them back together without fully removing them. So it's possible to fix this without undoing everything like it's right now. Now we're going to install the crankshaft seal. So to be able to install this, you're going to want to have a tool like this, so it's going to make the job much more easier. I'm going to show you how it works, because I have sold a lot of these tools, and a lot of people are asking me how it works, because I have the older version in a video, but I don't have the new version in a video. So let me show you how it fits. Okay, so the black tool goes inside in this channel. It goes like this, and now we can lift up the crankshaft seal in its place. Because if you don't have this leading plastic, it's not like a plastic, but you cannot lift up the crankshaft seal without curving the inner part of the crankshaft seal. So now, as we can see, the crankshaft seal is slid on the crankshaft. So now, with the other sleeve, the aluminum one, we're going to use, you can use the 4 bolts, but we're going to use 2 of them because we want to play it risky. So this is how it looks like. With the using of the 2 bolts, the crankshaft seal, it should go in place. We're going to tighten it up until the sleeve goes even with the timing chain cover. Okay, and now we're going to undo them and hope that it's going to be installed as it's supposed to be. So as you can see, nice and easy. Without this tool, it's a real pain to install this. Before years I have struggled with this a lot, and I highly recommend you to consider buying this tool. I'm going to put it in the description below. It's not so expensive, so consider it. I just wanted to show you how it works out, how easy it is. Okay, just wanted to share something which is something important in my opinion, because it turns out that I haven't shown it, but let me say it because some of you are going to have issues with it. So right now, of course, we have assembled some of the stuff. As you saw, we have installed the crankshaft seal, but actually when we were removing the timing chain cover, it came up pretty easy, which is not typical for these engines. You're going to need to pry it out a little bit so to be able to remove it. And it turns out that on this timing chain cover, previously when they have done it, they have forget to reinstall the dowel pins on the both sides. We have dowel pin only on one side, and when you have only on one side, yeah, it's going to come up pretty easy because it's going to fall down from this side, let's say. It's a must to have a dowel pins on this timing chain covers, because if you don't have, you're going to have some issue when reinstalling it, and it's probably going to not position it right when tighten up all the bolts. But yeah, it's much more harder to install it with the both dowel pins, but this is the proper way to do it. If you don't have the dowel pins on the both sides on the cover, better order new ones. They're not so expensive. It is around €1, something like that. So just buy it, guys. Okay, so pretty much almost everything assembled. The injectors, actually we have serviced the vacuum pump with the new seals. As you know, this seal for this cover is not sellable, but we made them and we have serviced it. Now should have no leaks at all. So the only thing that left is to install the take manifold, which we have cleaned up. It was pretty bad inside. Previously the owner have removed the swirl flaps, so we are not going to touch this. So yeah, we're going to install it and we're going to see how it sounds with the new chains. Okay, it sounds good. It's simple, but actually it's running much better than before, if I am to be honest. Okay guys, so pretty much the car is assembled. Everything is ready for the owner to take it. So let me show you everything assembled, and once again one cold start to hear it how it sounds. Okay, the car is sitting for the whole night. This is going to be the first start. Okay, let's see how it sounds. Okay, so why do you don't want to focus? If I am to be honest, the car sounds pretty good, pretty smooth. Previously was much worse. Actually we haven't done pretty much nothing to the injectors, except we have changed the injector number 6, but I doubt one injector is going to fix the previous issue. Maybe the chains were more stretched, or I don't know, but for sure now it sounds much better than before. I have checked the oil, the coolant, everything is fine. The engine runs pretty smooth for cold start. And when it gets hotter, it runs even smoother and quieter. So okay guys, just wanted to show you one more M57 with the typical chain issues. As we saw, probably previously the chain was broken and they have replaced it. I'm not sure, have they straightened up the camshafts? Hopefully they did, but you never know, because when you break a chain, 99% of the time you're going to bend your camshafts. So yeah, okay guys, thank you for watching and hopefully see you in the next video.